was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she comes up a lace front all the time. Snatching beats up and throwing them in her nasty twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
That little party I went to, Diddy party, we went to the little private area behind the, cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a backyard his backyard with a fat, it's big. And then it had like a miniature little whatever.
As Jane Doe during the current trial, shocked the internet by jumping on Instagram and attacking Young Miami for selling her to Diddy to be used as one of his freak-offs. The C discovery coincided with Miami's exposure by a victim, so people were very mean to her and dragged her for dirt, according to Jane Doe. Miami was Diddy's top freak-off queen and received the highest salary of any of his sidekicks, receiving over $250,000, which was later raised to $500,000. While she was only given about $10,000, in addition to freaking out with him, it appears that Miami was covering up his wrongdoing and giving him girls, including Chrisean, which is why Diddy raised Miami's monthly payment to $500,000 when Lil Rod, one of Diddy's SA victims, sued him and stated that Young Miami was involved in his illicit business. In his initial petition, Diddy only mentioned what Miami had done to him, but he later changed his case and disclosed that she had received payments of up to $250,000 to commit various crimes, including smuggling drugs across state lines on his behalf. Lil Rod claims that when Diddy invited him to a Thanksgiving party in Miami, he put drugs in his drink and, since he was too drunk to defend himself, told Young Miami to make her according to court documents. He observed and had fun with his cousin. Jones claimed that when Miami's cousin barged into the bathroom while he was inside, she began groping him and performing oral acts on him without getting his permission. He tried to push her away and left the bathroom, but Miami's cousin followed him, undressed, and allegedly tried to straddle him and have sex with him in front of Diddy and other people. When Lil Rod later amended the case, he included even more embarrassing information about Young Miami, claiming that she was paid monthly by Diddy for giving him ladies for his. He continued by attaching a few pictures from the evening that showed Miami having a great time with her cousin and Diddy. To make matters worse, he also claimed that Miami was bringing drugs for Diddy whenever he needed them, including his notorious pink, which has been mentioned throughout much of his trial. In fact, it was one of the items seized by the federal authorities from his hotel room on the day of his arrest. He was reportedly planning to have another freak-off that day, but the police said it was not under their supervision anyhow. According to the lawsuit, Miami used Diddy's private jet to bring this ping to Diddy. Robin Greenhill, the accountant, would make sure that any cash payments or wire transfers to former employees were made. Frankie Bond, Santella Moy, additionally, Brendan, Paul, and KK would be in charge of making sure that employees were paid in cash. When this tea was released, a lot of people were talking about it because, according to long-running reports, Diddy was paying Miami up to $500,000 a month at one point. Young Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs's former employees and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill. Rich detailed the defendants' ongoing criminal operation. People were starting to think that he was acting in a very illegal manner. And they were clearly right when Miami showed such bravery and told Diddy's sidekick that all she had to do was call. Diddy and Gina would be on her knees eating her pee. It was very giving of you young ladies to be beneath me, since I am the head of this household. So why else would she act so brazenly over a quarrel that was never really that serious? At one point, they even split up because he reduced it to $250,000.
Young Miami put out a tweet a while back and basically was into it with, I guess, one of Diddy's other women. And she basically said, if I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees by now. Do you think that that was really like her telling on herself before she knew things were gonna hit the fan?
No, I think that was her being herself because she's a dumb crap.
Damn.
I think she was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she comes up lace front all the time. Snatching beats up and throwing them in her nasty twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
Oh, man. Damn. Okay.
Please, Carisha, stop, Carisha, please.
Nevertheless, Carissa chose to join the craze when it started to go viral online, revealing that Young Miami had tried to recruit Crotch to be Diddy's lover during Diddy's freak-offs. She asserted that until Diddy was implicated, she did not really, as she started to piece things together. She realized why Miami had gotten so close to Crotch and started taking her out frequently. She also realized that Miami was trying to cash into one of Diddy's freak-off women.
He was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and what's the girl Carisha was trying to recruit Rock. Remember that when they was heavily trying to get Rock to hang out with them? I think they was trying to recruit her. She got a lot, but see what's going on. We're gonna talk about it on this podcast. We're gonna get to the nitty-gritty of all the gritty of the nitty. Because it's necessary. I think them cops was trying to recruit her. Because remember they just had her pulling up to everything. So she love her. Yeah, remember? See what I'm saying? We don't, this podcast gonna be, because y'all know the mama know everything and everybody's business. So we gonna find out on this podcast. We ain't gonna talk no shit about nobody. We ain't gonna mock nobody, but we definitely gonna explore the possibilities that was going on. Because they kept calling her, remember, pull up to the birthday party. Come over here and dance on Carisha. Remember that? I feel like they was trying to recruit that baby to be in on me. That makes you see what I'm saying? That's why I gotta have a podcast, because I gotta get this shit out of the table. Can't nobody get it on the table but my nose. Okay? Tasha K ain't she over there making up. I know we gonna get to the bottom of shit on this podcast. Tell me if I'm lying. Go on over there and tell me if I'm lying. I'm telling you, they was trying to recruit that baby. They said, let's get her away from him. That's what they was doing. We gonna put a couple pounds of that on her and have her fly. They ain't gonna never suspect her.
Damn, that would make so much sense. That's why he grabbed him reading and he said, what did he say? He said, do you love her or she needs love? All she needs is love.
All she needs is love. Now, how about that? We gonna explore it for all.
They initially thought Carissa was trying to control the situation. But after doing investigation, they found receipts pertaining to the subject Carissa was talking about. They also found an old video of Crotch at one of Diddy's parties, where he repeatedly leaned over and kissed her face. She tried to leave without incident, but Chrisean was holding her tight because he was so uncomfortable and confused. If that wasn't weird enough, there's another video from January of this year in which Crotch describes how Diddy once jacked up Lemuel Plummer, the executive producer of Baddies. According to her, Diddy invited her and Lemuel to his secret chamber, which was just behind his house. It appears that several intimate incidents believed to be his freak-offs that took place in this house. No phones were allowed in that house, and Lemuel was not even allowed to bring his security. Chrisean claimed that Diddy grabbed him by the collar as soon as she and Lemuel entered the room to meet him because he had underpaid her for being on Baddies. When I first heard this, I was completely confused because I couldn't understand how her receiving a small salary from Lemuel was related to Diddy. However, since Diddy was trying to convince Chrisean to join his group, it is reasonable to assume that was actually a ploy to give Chrisean the impression that she was safe in his care. After that day, Chrisean added that she and Lemuel started having problems, but he started paying her generously.
I'll never forget that day, bro. So I set a price. I said 200,000. You said 100. I said 150. I'm not going underneath that. Cause what? I'm about to bring a lot to the table. That little party I went to, Diddy party. We went to the little private area.
I gotta go.
Behind the cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a house, his backyard with a fat big, and then it had like a miniature little whatever. And then me and Lemmy go upstairs. They tell him that he can't bring his security. He went in like a normally did that with no security, so it's just me and Lemmy. We go up in there. Hold on. We go up in there. We go upstairs. He like, what's up, lady? You know, you met Chrisean. You gave her kisses on the cheek. Early on in the party or whatever. We just wanted to follow up. I'm glad that you Chrisean. And then he grabbed Lenny by his neck. It was like, but do you with her? Like, don't play with her. All she needs is love. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. And I didn't understand that.
Diddy treated Cassie and his second victim in this way. And the Jane Doe I previously mentioned attested to the fact that he got her using the same tactic when Diddy was arrested. This was obviously Diddy's attempt to persuade Crotch that she deserved more, and that he was the one who would make it happen. If you remember, Young Miami was also dating Diddy from 2021 to 2024. Jane Doe revealed that she had been seeing him from 2021 to 2024, 2022 until the federal government caught him. So she knew who Jane Doe was. Her story is identical to Cassie's, except that, unlike Cassie, Jane admitted that she stayed with Diddy because he was paying her rent and promised to give her over $10,000 a month if she did everything he asked of her, including the free coughs. She repeatedly told Diddy that she didn't want to do any of it. But just one of the reasons she decided to end her relationship with him was because he took Miami instead of her. Presumably because she refused to freak out with him, many others gave Miami the side-eye, implying that she was probably complicit in the antics and agreed to stop after he gaslighted her by reminding her who was paying the bills and saying that if she left, he would stop doing so. Worrying as long as the money was received, no one would have cared about her flipping out with Diddy if Miami hadn't been out here allegedly trying to recruit naive women like Crotch to join. They dragged her like this person who claimed that people weren't here for this recruiting Rock because Rock wouldn't keep a secret. Another person said that they needed to get Lemmy and Natalie next, which is what Young Miami is doing for Diddy. Get them all now. But I would like to know what you think about what Natalie is doing for Lemmy. Do you think they were actually trying to buy Crotch? How do you feel about Young Miami allegedly hiring people for Diddy? Please leave your thoughts in the space provided below. And don't forget to click here to see this nasty